Harper and Minister Baird always stood solid and hard when it came to dealing with tyranny. And whenever they met them in these bilateral meetings, they made it clear where Canada stood. Minister, there seems to be some confusion over Minister Jolie's announcement of any arms embargo against Israel as a result of Monday's motion. But then Minister Jolie said on Tuesday that Canada suspending military exports to Israel was in response to the motion.
I'd like to remind the senators that the minister is here and questions must be related to her ministerial responsibilities. Senator Husakos.
She's a cabinet minister, and I'm asking questions in regards to her actions and meetings she has in capacity as a cabinet minister. Everything I've asked is within that realm of her responsibilities. Minister, can you please clarify for this chamber what's happening with our military exports to Israel and how that is being received by our ally, as well as by the families of victims of October 7? Also, this relates directly to your role as Minister of Mental Health. In your CJN interview, you spoke about the trauma being felt by those families. So what might you say to them about being re-traumatized and re-victimized by this government?
Madame la Ministre.
Minister.
When it comes to arms exports, that is not my file. That is, as you well know, Minister Jolie, and I'm sure she will be able to provide you a fulsome answer. With regards to the trauma experienced by Israelis on October 7th, I had the opportunity to meet with First Lady Michal Herzog and many of the advocates that are now involved in the investigations of the weaponization of sexual violence on October 7th and with the hostages, to which this government has pledged $1 million to work collaboratively with these organizations to ensure that justice prevails. Thank you.
Senator Husakos.
Okay. She's lying there. We know that the $1 million that they announced to investigate the weaponization of sexual violence was actually given to investigate Israeli soldiers for committing, allegedly, because there's no proof of it, allegedly committing sexual violence against Palestinian women. It is not to investigate the weaponization of sexual violence that we all saw video footage of happening to Israeli women and Israeli hostages. That Yara Sachs probably saw actually, because she has seen the body cam footage that the Hamas terrorists wore the day they committed those terror attacks. So she has seen evidence of sexual violence committed against Israeli women before they were either abducted or murdered. And she instead gave money to investigate allegations of sexual violence being committed by Israeli soldiers. She just lied, or at least omitted the fact that it is not like the question posed to her was, how do you respond to Israelis and Jewish people and their friends and families being re-traumatized by what you have done and what your government continues to do? And she says, well, we're actually giving money to victims of trauma, but wasn't clear about who she gave the money to, because who she gave the money to is indicative of where the government's sympathies lie. Also, I should tell you my nails are green, so they're chroma keying in case anybody is noticing. And she brought up the fact that Stephen Harper and John Baird, the Conservative Foreign Affairs Minister at the time, had met with Mahmoud Abbas. Okay, but was it after the single largest attack, one day killing of Jews since the Holocaust? Was it after that? No, not at all. So she can say, well, Harper did that, and Baird did that, and Blinken did that. You want me to say that the Democrats are handling this appropriately? I don't think they are. But to say that, oh, Harper met with him too, okay, but that is not post October 7th at all. She's just a crazy lady. And I should show you this footage of Rebel News taking a billboard truck through her riding. My friend David Menzies was along for the ride and not making a lot of friends out there, was she? So let's show a little bit of this.
And let's talk to constituents and let's see what they have to say about behavior by their MP that is equal parts egregious and outrageous. What was she thinking?
I have no idea. I know what I'm thinking. I'm the daughter of Holocaust survivors, and my heart is broken. I live in this riding, I live in her riding, and it's atrocious.
No matter what or where you are, like, the anti-Semitism needs to stop here in Canada. It's crazy.
What do you think of Yarosak's, basically having a nice photo op with a terrorist?
Care.
Okay, thank you. Will you be voting for her in the next election?
No, I never voted for her. No, I will not.
She's a Canadian Israeli Jew. She's shaking hands with him. What is she thinking?
That was shocking to us.
Yeah.
Like, as an Israeli, I'm overwhelmed with what I see.
I knew from the beginning what her background was. That's why I never voted for her. And I was vocal about it. But I don't know what to say. I have no idea what she's thinking, what she's doing. All I know is that that picture with Mahmoud Abbas is atrocious.
I don't think that.
Okay, so those are comments from people from her riding. I will be shocked if she holds her seat, especially after this. And if she loses her seat, I will be happy to say that we played a small part in making sure that happens, because she does not deserve to hold office. Holding hands with a terrorist, anti-Semite Holocaust denier. And using her Jewishness as a shield, or actually rather, allowing her privileged, idiotic male boss, Justin Trudeau, to use her Jewishness as a shield. She sold it out for a junior cabinet minister position. And we have this other article up on rebelnews.com right now, where Yara Sachs basically justifies, as you saw in her interview with, her cross-examination, I should rather say, from Senator Leo Housakos. But the CJN Daily, she did an interview with them, Canadian Jewish News, and she said it was her choice to meet with Mahmoud Abbas. So she could have said no, and she didn't, is what she wants us to believe. Together, we must move forward towards a solution that allows both Israelis and Palestinians to live in peace. Yeah, that was October 6th. Things were actually very hopeful. I was in Israel this fall, and things were very hopeful that they were able to sort of sort things out, working towards peace through economic prosperity. Not anymore. Not anymore. They were on the cusp of a peace deal with Saudi Arabia. There is this incredible back and forth movement between Israel and the UAE. And that seems to be still in place. But all these other peace deals that were growing out of Trump's Abraham Accords are sort of stagnated because of this. So there was peace, or at least real movement towards peace, October 6th. And I guess, according to these people, Israel should not retaliate for the death and abduction of their people. I would hope that if something happened in Canada to Canadians, that our government, although probably not our current one, would retaliate and get our people back. And yet there's this expectation that the Jews should not. Anyway, I was asked to go on this trip with Minister Jolie, she says. We felt it was important that there was a Jewish and frankly Israeli-Canadian perspective when meeting with our counterparts in Israel and the West Bank. She considers Mahmoud Abbas her legitimate counterpart, which is insane, because he's a dictator who just cancels elections to be in power. What an awful, awful woman.